My name is Walt Deane. I work at the Rockport Gallery where I do most of their canvas stretching and their gallery wraps. I guess you could call me the wrapper. I've been doing that for about 15 years, doing it for the most part the hard way, and that motivated me to design and develop these handheld canvas stretching tools. It comes in two sizes. There's a regular size and this is half size. This is for working tight spots in the corner, and this is for doing most of your stretching. I'm going to show you how to do a complete canvas wrap here. What you're going to need here is a stapler. I have these are pneumatic staplers. I've got a good sharp pair of scissors, an Exacto knife, and the handheld canvas stretching tool. When you go about stretching this, you're always working with your canvas face down. So you got to mark the back side of it as to where your stretcher bars, or stretcher frame in this case, because this is assembled. You need to mark, I determined off camera that I need a 5-inch margin over here and about a 3-inch margin over here. And you set this down. And when you set out to do this, you're not really stretching all four sides. What you're doing is you're stretching the length and you're stretching the width of the canvas. You use the handheld tool after you have secured one side, and that's what I'm going to do here right now. You try to do this without moving the workpiece on this side, and then I'll proceed to stretch it on this side using the stretching tool. Flip this in here. You really work with this in kind of an inverted position, and what you're doing is you're putting this fulcrum right up against this edge, this inside edge of the canvas frame. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring that in. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm kind of using this hand to gather up the excess of the canvas. Okay. You see where that's just right there at the edge of that canvas. You catch, or the edge of the stretcher bar. You make sure you have it lined up here. I'm checking this margin right here, and you give it a stretch. You clamp it in place and you give it a stretch, and it just will hold a stretch just under its own weight, but you need to stand it up when you shoot the staples. And the reason is because if the canvas is held away, you will shoot right through the canvas with your gun, your staple gun. So I got 4 there. Now I'm going to come along and I'm going to do the side margins here. And I'm going to cut off some excess. There's an awful lot of excess on this side. When I say a good sharp pair of scissors is a must. And I'm going to do this side by hand and then use the stretching tool over here. So you just gather up the excess. Give a couple more here. Notice I don't go all the way to the corner because this is where the folding takes place. And yeah, you need to stay away from the corner about 3 inches or so, 3 to 4 inches, and you'll develop your own technique. Okay, that secures that side. I'm going to come along here and cut off a little more excess. And I'm going to tug on this just to kind of take up the excess. I'm going to clamp it in place. Again, just catching that inside lip. Clamp it in place. Stand it up. Move it. When you're moving the stretching tool, you want to be about an inch away from the closest staple, because if you're on top of it like this and you go to stretch it, you could tear that. So you want to stay about an inch away, apply a stretch, and give it a couple of shots here. Again, staying about 3 inches away from the corner. Now the next step here, we already have a pretty taut canvas. The next step here is going to be preparing the corners for the wrapping. And you come in with this Exacto knife, and you want to stay about 1/8 of an inch away from the corner, the very corner of the canvas stretcher frame. And the reason is because if you get too close, you're going to be showing wood on the front side, and that's the sort of thing you don't want. You can always come back and get a little closer if you really need to, but this is probably the single most important step here. It's also the riskiest, most risky, I should say. Again, about 1/8 of an inch away. Okay, this is a tree here, top and bottom. Whenever you're doing something like this, you want to do the top and the bottom first, and I'll show you why in just a moment. It's so when, well, I can show you right now. This gets folded over, this gets folded over this way, and then that gets folded like that. Well, you can see that seam when you're looking at the top, but you can't see it when it's on the side here. That gives the wrap a nice flat surface on the side, which is important. So anyway, I'm going to unfold this here, and I'm going to prepare this, the top and the bottom. I'm going to do that first, and what I'm doing is I'm cutting this to a point. I'm putting a point. I'll show you what this looks like in a moment. Coming along here, staying about 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little less than 1/8 of an inch away from the frame here. And one more here. So what you end up with is a point. And what I do at this point, at this juncture I should say, I come along and I put a little staple there to keep it in place. That way I don't ever have to mess with it again. And it's going to get covered up by this fold. So you won't see that staple on the side there. Okay. So you come back in and you want to finish. Remember, we didn't go all the way to the corner here. So you come in here with your stretcher and you finish up the stapling on the top and the bottom. Again, applying just a little bit of pressure there. Sometimes you don't even need any. Depends on your canvas. Canvas will stretch, and then it takes a while for it to rebound. And that allows you to do what you do, to get your staples in place so it doesn't rebound. Okay, again, a nice taut canvas. Now let's show you what a fold looks like. We're going to fold this over Kind of tuck it in there, get it looking the way you like. Fold it over like that, and then I'm going to see if I can do this without getting in the way. I'm going to cut just a little bit of a sliver, like so. It doesn't amount to much. And then you unfold it, and then you come in here, and you put a point on this. Oops. There we go. So, what you end up with is a corner where you have two pointed pieces of canvas being folded against one another. And you bring in your stretching tool, catch it on the lip there, and like so. Again, fold this over, get it looking the way you want, about like that. Cut a sliver off of the edge there, unfold it, come back in and put a point on it. Again, what you have is two folds, two pointed folds, up against one another like that. Bring in your stretcher. Give it a stretch. Like so. What I do at this point is I come along and I put a miter cut on the canvas just to make it appear a little more professional, like so. And then you cut off the excess. And just for insurance, I come in and put a couple of staples diagonal across the corner. And there you go. I went offline and finished the last two corners of this workpiece, and as you can see, we got a nice taut canvas. There are two elements to coming up with a professional looking gallery wrap. One is the nice taut face, and the other is the nice clean folds. And again, there's the reason why you wrap the bottom and the top first, and that's so you come up with a side panel that is nice and smooth and has no visible folds. So anyway, as I said at the beginning, I've been doing this for about 15 years, and that's what motivated, I've been doing it the hard way, and that's what motivated me to invent this tool. It works very well, and what separates it from other tools on the market is that it locks in place. And you can also lock this lock nut here, allows you to lock in the setting, the pressure setting that you get when you lock it into place. So that's what separates it from other tools on the market. It's going to be on in a lot of the other art supply warehouses. So watch for it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something. I hope you'll try this tool. It really works.